YouTube friends, it's me, Barbara, with Barbara Wiley Art. Today we're going to be doing the sunflower. And I have it all set up here. I have my 10 by 20 canvas all set up. And I have the colors that I need, which are titanium white, phthalo blue, warm gray, yellow ochre, lemon yellow, yellow medium, grass green, and sap green. Those are the colors that we're going to be using. These are the brushes that we'll be using. You'll need a small angular brush like this one. Just a small one. And you'll need a longer round, and I have a smaller round, or it's a script. It's actually a script. And then a really small one. So you just need a few brushes. You're going to need a sponge. There's my sponge right here. Now, what I've done to prepare my canvas is I've drawn a line that goes over here like this. And that's one side we're going to do white, on the other side we're going to do blue. And so it's going to be a really pretty background. So here are the pictures. This is the blue one that I did, the sample. And you see that it's like a tan color on this side, and there's two different colors here. It goes into a pretty blue on that side, and then I have the stem of the flower and the sunflower right there. Can you see it? All right. And here it is done in green. See if I can get these two next to each other. And you can see the real pretty colors that went into the green, the background I'm talking about. Just kind of melted it in there, really pretty, blended it in there. So that's what we're going to be attempting today. So get your supplies ready and let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is take my sponge and I'm going to dip it in my, I've got gray and white right here, gray and white. And I'm going to pounce it, and I'm going to start pouncing my canvas. And I'm going to go right along that line, pouncing my canvas and using some white. I want white in there too. So we're just going to go right along that line and pounce until you get all of it covered on this side. Leave the blue side for now. This is going to be this side right here. See, that's what you're doing. You're just pouncing. And then when you get it all done, you're going to give it a second coat to make sure you covered the whole canvas. Okay? So I'm going to pounce away, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, it's me again. So I've gotten the gray part done, as you can see. I put on 2 coats so that it's fully covered on that side. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the phthalo blue, which is this one, and I'm going to put it in my little tray, some of it, good amount, and some of the white, titanium white, good old titanium white, got tons of that. And I'm going to come over here and get some of the, I think I'm going to do that. Let me see. How about this one? We'll try this one. It's not so wet. I washed out my sponges a little bit ago. So they're still a little bit on the wet side. But here I go. I'm pouncing and pouncing and pouncing and pouncing. And I'm going to do the same thing on the blue side until it's all done. Using white and phthalo blue, blending it together, and then just pounce and pounce and pounce and pounce and pounce until I get the right color, till I get the right shape. And that's what we're going to do. See you in a minute. Okay, so I did my blue, and now what I'm doing is I'm using just the white, just my white on the same sponge, and I'm going right behind the line all the way down, making that marbled, the white one. Now, to do this, you have to blend it in. You have to blend it in and make it disappear. It's really pretty. Then you can get 2, 3 colors by doing this. You just have to blend it in, blend it in, blend it in, blend it in, blend it in. And when you're done, it comes out looking like a beach from the aerial view, I think. See you in a minute. Hi there. Okay, so I got my background done. Doesn't it look like a beach from an aerial view? Looks like that's the shore. This is the sand. I don't know, it just does to me. But it's a really pretty blue background piece for what we're doing. So the next thing we're going to do is dry it. I dried mine already. Use a hair dryer and just go over it and dry it the best that you can. It'll get dry in just a minute with a hair dryer. Won't be too long. By the way, I also do the sides and the top, bottom, all around. So that way you can just hang it on the wall. You don't need a frame. That's what I do. Anyways, so my piece is ready. We're ready to get my pencil, and I'm going to make my sunflower. Now to do that, what we're going to do is make sure that we get this in the right place. We want it about that far down, right about there, and about the edge of it is the edge of the pollen. I can't think of the name, right there. All right, so somewhere right in there. And I don't want it, do you see how this one is not pointing straight up at the corner, it's pointing here. So that's about this far down. This is just guesstimates. So you want that little spot there denoted. Now you're going to take these little spots, and you're going to make a thumb. This is what it looks like. This little pollen thing. Forgot what the name of it is at the moment. But you're going to, it's like a round, and it's like flat or rounded on the bottom. So it's just like making a thumb. So it's not too hard to draw. So make your little pollen thing and make sure it's pointing at the correct place. That mine's slightly off. The paint is pretty forgiving. And it needs to go up about that far. Yeah, mine needs to go up a little bit more. There we go. Now that's looking kind of like it. All right, so I got the little pollen thing drawn in. And now from there, we're just going to, we're going to make petals, just like you did in high school. Drawing petals on a sunflower when you were supposed to be listening to chemistry. I did the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my pencils, and I'll be back draw my petals, sorry. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but I have my sunflower drawn in chalk. So I'm going to get my plate, and I'm going to set up my colors, and I'll show you in just a minute. Okay, so I have my palette set up. I have white, raw umber, burnt umber, yellow ochre. This one is lemon yellow, and this is yellow medium. So we're going to start with the browns up here. And we're going to use our little slanty brush right there, like that. And we're going to go in there and do that little pollen thingy. And I'm going to make it in 2 different browns. So if you look at the picture, our sample, you'll see that this is two different colors here. And it starts down here and goes across. So you can do yours any way you want, but that's the way I usually do mine. So I'm going to come in here now and go around and make me a nice little thumb with my paint. We called it a thumb. And fill that in. When it all filled in, and I like to round mine at the end. Now, next I'm going to take a little of the other color and some white, and I'm going to go I want it light at the top. So I'm going to go up with the color. You see that? It's slightly lighter because I want to give it some kind of a shading effect. Okay. You know, sunflowers love the light. Just the way we do. And they are drawn to the light. They move toward the light. They need light to grow and the warmth of the sun to grow. So do sunflowers. So do we. So do we. We need the light of Jesus Christ on our faces and in our hearts. And we need the warmth of Jesus to help us to be on fire for him. And our light, the light of Jesus, to help us grow. So, okay, now I'm going to get into my yellow ochre. And I'm going to start painting some of the petals that I have. This is just like you did in high school. And I see there's one coming out from that one. This is just straight yellow ochre. No blending, nothing. Just straight yellow ochre. Because we're going to go back over the yellow ochre in a minute and blend it. And we're going to use this as the lining. Remember how you used to make flowers and then line them? Line the whole thing? This is kind of what you're going to do here. All right. My next one, I want to come in here like this. Just doing all these petals in here and then working them through. So, work on your petals and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my petals based in. I call it basing in. And you can see them right there. That's what my sunflower looks like. You can make your petals any way you want to. Those are just the way I chose to make mine. Just looking up there to the sun like that. A little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to clean out my brush and leave it in the water. And I'm going to let that dry. And then I'm going to go and do my stem. So we're going to work on the green stem. We're going to come back to the other colors in just a minute, I think. But let's go ahead and draw in the stem. There's some green. And I'm going to use my round. This is a number, what is it? This is a script, 18-0 script. I like this one. It's got the right size. And I'm going to get a little bit of water because it tends to dry out. Sometimes when your brushes dry out and you run out of paint, you either need paint or water, one or the other. Okay, so I'm going to come down in here and follow my line. And you want it to be a fairly good stem. You don't want it to be a tiny stem, but you want it to be a fairly good sized stem. So this is, I'm using grass green, and I'm just going to follow my stem all the way down. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've got the first part of the stem done, as you can see. And now we're going to wind the other one around. Here's the sample, if you can see it. The second stem winds around it. So I've already chalked that in where I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and base that in right now. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've done my two stems and I even did my leaf. And up here you can see that on the bottom side of the leaf I used a little white with the green to make a shade. That always makes it look a little nicer. So I made a little shade up there. Now we're going to go back up there and we're going to put some other colors of yellow into the picture. Where's my other brush? There it is. All right. And what I do is I just come right down in the middle. I don't go to the very edge. I leave the very edge as kind of a lining, like when you used to line your pretty flowers on your notebook that you did. So go close to the line, but not to the very line. And we're just going to fill in with this yellow, and then we're going to put some yellow light on top of it, on each and every petal. Go close to the line, but not on the line, so that it leaves a little bit of, like it's lining the flower. Okay, be back. Okay, now I did the second yellow, and then I went on and did the third yellow. We have the second yellow is the yellow medium, and then we went on to the lightest yellow, the lemon yellow. And notice how I left the outline of the yellow ochre, the darker yellow ochre color. Remember we painted this on first? So that serves as like an outline. So I've got that part done. I did my leaf, I did my curlicues, and so this sunflower is just about done. The last thing I'm going to do is put my name on it. John 8:12 tells us that we are to be the light of the world, that Jesus is the light of the world, and that we are to reflect his light. And just like this little sunflower is looking up to the light, so is Jesus. So do we reflect Jesus' light. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this very lightest yellow, tap it a bit, and I'm going to put a little bit of sun coming into the top here. Right on top of my sunflower. Just a little bit. Not on the sunflower, just a little bit coming in. So that it looks like a ray of sunshine coming in there. See it right up there at the top? So the next thing I'm going to do is put my name down here, my initials down here in the corner, BW, Barbara Wiley. And I'll see you next time. Bye.